This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Welcome to the Whisker Report. We're a podcast dedicated to helping anyone in the pet industry. Whether you're in animal welfare or running a for-profit pet business, get some PR visibility and buzz for what you do. Hello, everyone. I'm Mary Tan, the host of the show and the principal and founder of Whisker Media, a pet public relations firm based in Buffalo, Minnesota, just outside of Minneapolis. I'm also joined by my fabulous producer, Mark Winter of Pet Life Radio, who gets us to you each and every week. Hey, Mark, what's going on this week?
I'm Mary. I don't know, a lot of fun stuff. We just got back from another cruise and with my mother celebrating her 96th birthday. And it was fun because my sister and her kids came. So my niece is a stand-up comic. So she was like videotaping my mother through this whole cruise to get content for her routine. And she got plenty. So it was a fun cruise.
Oh my God, that's amazing. And of course, you live down in sunny Florida. So I'm always very jelly about your weather.
It has been nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 50 degrees here, and it's pretty cold for Minnesota for spring. I got to do some garden work, but
you forget, when I've been down here for so long, you forget that the seasons change. It's like, it's always nice here.
Yeah. Well, I am so excited because today we have a very special guest and we're going to do something different in the show today. Our guest is Mary Beth Powers, the founder of Teddy's Turmeric Tamer, a company dedicated to helping pets live healthier, more comfortable lives through natural solutions. What started as a deeply personal journey has grown into a brand that's capturing attention for both its mission and its impact. And I mentioned we're going to do something different. We're turning the tables. Mary Beth is going to ask Mark and I questions on how we would promote her business, because there's nothing better than learning from other people. So every few weeks in this podcast, we're going to feature Ask the Whisker Report shows, where pet businesses and animal welfare nonprofits can ask us questions. So welcome, Mary Beth.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
So where are you coming to us from?
I'm coming from Alexandria, Virginia, and we had an 80-degree day yesterday, and we're back down in the 50s and rainy. So our weather is up and down all over the place here.
Wow. So you're in the D.C. area.
Yes, indeed.
Well, let's first start out by tell us a little bit about Teddy's Turmeric Tamer.
Be happy to. So our dog, our beloved 100-pound Newfie mix Teddy, developed a lump on his snout, and we took him to the vet. They found cancer cells. And in between taking him to the vet and then going to a vet oncologist a couple weeks later, he stopped eating. So I did a lot of research on natural ingredients, spices and herbs. What can I do to entice him to eat and potentially help with some of the cancer symptoms? So after I developed this product, this is it. It's a powder. And I started sprinkling on his food. He would eat a little bit, but then we went to the vet oncologist. They did a biopsy, and that took a couple weeks too. And then we get the call from the vet oncologist that he has an aggressive sarcoma. To keep him comfortable, he only has 2 to 4 weeks to live. We were devastated. So we were going to his favorite place in the whole wide world, Maine, where he can run in the water and not, in the woods. And we got up there. He wouldn't even walk. And I decided then we were not going to let him die like that. So we started to take him off the sedation medicines, kept him on a painkiller because we didn't know how much pain he was in. Within 2 weeks, he was running around and acting like his old self. We were still giving him the turmeric, our product, took him off all the medicines. Within 4 months, his tumor completely disappeared. He lived for 3 years more, just on the turmeric. We took him off everything, except for the only thing we did was give him the rabies vaccine. And so since then, we've been helping hundreds of dogs, some with cancer, a lot of inflammation, arthritis, allergies, and other health ailments. So we're very pleased, and we're just so happy that we got 3 more years with Teddy. He was a great dog, and I'm happy to share, and I'm just want to get out there and help other dogs and owners.
Wow, that's an amazing journey that you had in the creation of this product. And you credit this product for extending his life for another 3 years.
Absolutely. That's all we gave him. And of course, his food. I think we got a little bit better with the food and made it a little bit more organic and natural. We were giving him, at that time, ground chicken, and then we went to turkey and other better meats and vegetables and fruits and just the turmeric. So he gave us, we got 3 more years out of him. And we have a lot of people who cannot believe it. And they've been using our products too, and they've seen results in their dogs with different health issues.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us, when it comes to public relations and marketing, because PR is part of marketing, what have been your challenges? What's your biggest pain point?
Okay. So full disclosure, I just retired from my other company. I plan conferences and events. I retired about a month ago. So now we are trying to get this up and running and full force. We've been doing this on the side. But now that I'm ready and I can devote my time to this, there are a lot of challenges. It's a whole different industry for me. My question for you is, what are the most common mistakes you see with a pet product founder when trying to get out there in the media or just in newspapers or online? We are on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, but I'm not seeing a lot of enough followers. That we have followers, but not enough. So with that, what would you suggest there?
So when you're at your stage of the game, oh my gosh, you're so busy, right?
Right.
Do you have this? Is the product in stores already? Do you have a distributor? Are you planning to go that route? Those would be my first questions.
So we are in local stores, and they're boutique stores. The thing about my product is because we use all natural herbs and spices, human grade, no preservatives, no chemicals. Our shelf life is usually about 9 months. So we're not in big stores, because I can't handle that right now. We're just in local stores. We do local farmers markets and then events around the DC area.
Yeah. Okay. And what's been the reaction?
Oh, it's great. It's lovely, especially when I was doing a farmers market last year in Alexandria, which is one of the oldest farmers markets in the United States. George Washington used to sell there. I would have people come back and tell me, for instance, I didn't realize our product's helping with allergies. And when I thought about it, it's like allergies are inflammation. So that was just another assurance that my product is working. I love seeing people. I love meeting their dogs and knowing that we're helping them. And I actually have a lot of humans taking this as well, because it is human grade. But it is a powder and it's a little gritty. So you really have to like that texture and flavor. But I have a gentleman who who's coming every week. He would buy I don't know why he didn't buy the bigger container, but he would buy the smaller, and he and his dog would share it during the week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was fun. Yep.
There's so much you can do when it comes to PR. So one of the biggest mistakes is, this is just more from my point of view, is somebody at your stage in business probably shouldn't hire a PR firm.
Okay.
Yet. Your most effective tool is absolutely going to be social media. And if you're going to focus on marketing, that's the route you want to take. And specifically, you have a specific target audience, correct?
Right. I do.
You're not going after the general pet owner who is, for example, buying the processed kibble. Am I right?
Right.
At the big pet stores or whatever. You're looking for the natural, holistic route.
Correct.
So you can target those people on social media. In full disclosure, I am not an expert in social media, but a lot of times I get reached out by startups, and my first thing is, get your social media vibrant. Get that great content. And there's so many things that you have now available to you where AI can help you generate content. I just heard of a company called Saska, and you put in your mission, your vision, your values, and it helps you create, 30 days of posts.
Wow.
Using what you teach the AI about your product, and it helps you create the posts. It also can help in terms of analytics, and you can really drill down when it comes to social media. So take a competitor or take another company that also has that holistic pet parent route, and you can, duplicate their audiences and that sort of thing. I am not an expert in that area, but these are all things that are relatively inexpensive because I'm assuming you don't have a large marketing budget.
I don't, not yet. No, of course not. No.
Yeah, but you are doing the right things of starting local first. Also reaching out to the veterinarians in your area who are naturopaths and holistic. That would be a second recommendation. Also, what's really interesting is find out subject areas and affinity groups that also tend to be holistic. So we're talking about veganism and those vegan groups. We're talking about, functional medicine fans and that sort of thing. And functional medicine, if people don't know what that is using food as medicine.
Okay.
So I would not, and I tell this to a lot of people, don't just stick in the pet space. Think about other areas because what I've noticed is that a lot of people who really care about their own health, it's called the humanization of pets. They're pushing their philosophies on the way they feed their pets and treat their pets. And so the human side of natural health should also be another group you could target. And so I'm talking not about just going to pet shows, but going to another thing is like here in Minneapolis, I just heard the other day, like United Health is based here, the big insurance company.
Sure.
And I just heard they have health fairs for all their, and they invite different companies in, different local businesses. So, a lot of gigantic companies might have Health Week where you can learn about all different kinds of things, yoga, meditation. And so that would be another route too, is reach out. And it doesn't have to be fancy. You just, reach out to I would reach out to like the human resources people and say, hey, do you have any health fairs in your area?
Write that down. That's a great idea.
And the thing is that HR people, they all kind of know each other. It is like it's like pet people kind of stay together. HR people know HR people at others. So they might say, hey, this company, XYZ, has an event and where you can bring in your products. Like I know the wellness company, the pet food company, they have a special event for their employees. So I work with Pet Partners, which is a national nonprofit for animal-assisted therapy. They have events where they feature therapy pets, things like that. But everybody knows turmeric is a superfood.
It truly is. It's amazing.
And so not only target the pet stuff, but like the turmeric companies, there's tons of human supplements that are primarily turmeric. So take a look. Who are they advertising to? Take a look at their ads and you can see a lot from, just look at their engagement. And the other thing, I just got a really great tip is to follow the CEOs of the big companies, of the big social media companies.
Okay.
Because a friend of mine watches the CEO of Instagram constantly. And so when he puts carousels or when he puts posts or when he puts reels, because it's this huge, right, like algorithm. If you follow what he does, he's got probably the inside knowledge of getting eyeballs on his posts. So a lot of them is study the top social media execs and see what they're putting in. Because,
That's interesting.
And I've heard, like reels are great for getting new followers, right? And then standard posts are great for talking to your existing followers. And every day it changes. And so that's just it's really annoying, right? And it's overwhelming. But my advice is also focus on one thing at a time.
Right. So 2 questions for that. Other than Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, should I be looking at I also have a LinkedIn account. And I'm just starting to dabble with that. I just don't feel like people really go to LinkedIn to look at pet products. Am I missing out on any media outlet, or do I have the Instagram, Facebook, TikTok covered for now?
I think you have the main three, but where you do want to be on LinkedIn is another aspect of PR is being looked at as a thought leader. And that is a wonderful, if you look at like Sarah Blakely always has great posts. The top CEOs are always posting, their views and opinions on things. And this is where your thoughts on your food and how on the pet industry is in and of itself and natural products could be something that you could write about. But again, you're busy. I get it, right? But it would be nice as you as the founder and CEO to be putting information out there about natural health products for pets, I mean, you could write about what is good. What do you think is good for a pet holistically, and what is not good for your pet? And not only that, but you're also going to be eventually, you might need other people in the pet industry to help you. You want to get in front of, distributors. I see Pete Scott at the American Pet Products Association. He's on there liking and commenting and stuff. And so getting in front of the right people, you need to get in front of the right people to get your product in front of your target audience. And that's where LinkedIn really comes in healthy.
Okay.
So like in what I do, LinkedIn, like nobody's going to hire a pet PR firm generally. I mean, well, they could from like TikTok. I shouldn't say that because it could, but I would say LinkedIn is a better fit for like my business. And I notice, Mark, you've been posting a lot too on LinkedIn, certain episodes that you feel, highlight Pet Life Radio.
When we get celebrities, they draw a lot of eyes. So I always post everywhere for those. And I don't have time, like for every episode. I should, but I don't have the time to post, every time we release an episode on all the social media, there just isn't time to do all that. So I pick and choose the ones that I think are going to draw the most interest. But I think also, from a marketing aspect, you said that your product, that people can take it as well.
Yes. But the problem is.
That's unique, though, that you and your pet can take the same thing. I mean, I would market that because not many, either you're a pet product, you're a person product, but if you can use both, it's a unique take on a product.
I think I have to be careful with that because of the licensing. We're licensed as an animal remedy.
Okay.
So I have to be careful. I tell people, but I'd have to look into that about how I could market it out there, like put it out there. I tell people, but the state's pretty strict about this is an animal remedy, not for people. So yeah, even though it's all human grade. My husband and I take it every day. So yeah.
Wow. That makes completely sense. But that is I have never seen a product that is, certified for both.
Right.
How is that a difficult process to do?
I don't know. I'm not sure if it would need FDA approval or not, but I know that with my state licensing, when I first started this, I would put a disclaimer when people were buying it, when I know humans were buying it. Hey, this is licensed as an animal remedy, even though it's all human grade, just know that. Now people know. I don't have that many people because we're not marketing to people. But when I'm at shows and farmers markets, I can talk to people and tell them. And that's how I get it. But, that's something maybe I should look into and see if I can cross-market it.
Oh, yeah.
Good idea.
You've just really opened up your markets. I mean, you've doubled or tripled the size. Well, we need to take a quick break. And when we come back, Mary Beth is going to ask us more questions.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There is no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms. And our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, TuneIn, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
And we are back with Mary Beth Powers of Teddy's Turmeric Tamer. I love the alliteration in that.
It's a lot to say, I know.
Yeah, so let's continue. So tell us some of your other challenges.
So I guess my question for you would be, what type of stories or angles tend to resonate most with media outlets or social outlets when it comes to pet wellness products?
Exactly what you just told me. Teddy's personal story. There's nothing more riveting than a sick animal getting healthy. I always say kids and pets are probably the best hooks. They're the most visual. They make you feel emotional. And so what you want is an emotional story that's going to kind of tug at the heartstrings. But one thing that would be even more powerful if you had another testimonial besides Teddy's, because people are going to think, oh, that's her dog. And not to, say that it's a wonderful story. But if you could get a series of testimonials like that, that's what you need with people that are perhaps not connected with your company, but are pet parents.
We do have testimonials on our website, but what I find challenging is getting Google reviews. I just don't understand why people don't do Google reviews. We offer discounts if you do a Google review. We have hundreds of people taking it, and I only have 30 Google reviews. Why is that so hard to get people to give you Google reviews?
I can just tell you that it's daunting to people, I think. Like, people are really busy. One thing I would do is, do you know anything about these pets before they get them?
Some people, especially if they come to me when I'm at the farmer's market or an event, they'll say, oh, my dog has arthritis, or my dog was just diagnosed with cancer, but not all, because I get orders from around the United States. So I don't always know.
I would say your incentives aren't big enough. Is it just 10 or 20% off?
I think it's more than that, to be honest with you. Yeah. For the hundreds of customers I've had, and just even the repeat customers, it's hard to get Google reviews. And maybe it's because they don't have a Google account. I know that can be a pain because you have to set up a Google account, but yeah. I'm just perplexed how hard it is to get more Google reviews. That's a huge challenge here.
Oh, no, I think that's the challenge. I just had my car fixed, and I use a mom and pop shop, and they're just hounding me for Google reviews.
Yeah.
And
right.
And to everyone out there, Google reviews are really important to your locals, especially your small business. Is there a way you could send a personal email?
That's my next step. Yeah. And with a QR code where they can just do it right then and there.
Yes. You need to make it as easy as possible and focus on, I don't know, is it possible for you to give them a free
I was
product?
going to do a 50% off.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's so really good. That's enough. But I would say that's the number one issue that I hear from a lot of small business is Google reviews. It's just hard you just have to make it as easy. Like, the QR code is great. You just have to make it as easy as possible.
Agreed.
And, another thing would be to have like an iPad when you're at these farmers markets and you say it, if you could ask them to do it on the spot.
True. That's a good idea. Very good idea. Yes.
I think that's the most effective way. And I can help you. You could even, help dictate what to say and that sort of thing.
Right.
Although I'm sure Google probably doesn't love that. But as long as it's coming from them, I think, That's a really, I know restaurants have Yelp issues all the time. At least, that's the best thing about pet products is you don't have fake reviews and different things like that.
That's true. That's very true. So, and that's how we want to keep it. We don't ever want to have people going on there if they haven't used the product and whatnot. So,
Yeah, exactly. Are you planning on selling on Amazon?
So actually, Amazon approached me. Somebody approached me, said, somebody's looking for your product. Would you be interested? So I did get on Amazon. It took I don't know if you've heard this, but it's a very arduous task getting on Amazon. I finally got on and unfortunately only sold one. So I went inactive. So we're working on that too, getting back up and running with that. But there's so many other things I'm trying to do before I get back on Amazon.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had a previous episode on the Whisker Report with Erin Gary of Acceleration. You might want to listen to that because she talks about getting products. And
okay, good.
It is a huge it's a huge pain in the butt.
It is. It really is.
Working with the behemoth.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's tons of little things that if you don't know affects the algorithm, and it's just crazy.
Certain words and your pictures and all that.
Yes.
There are people you can pay to do it, but they're pretty expensive.
Yes. And that's what Stephen and Aaron do with Acceleration. But they give, in a previous episode, they give you some tips on how to do it.
Great. I will listen to that one for sure. Wonderful. So another question I have for you is, as a small brand and my credibility, if I don't have national recognition or a large scale distribution, how do I get out there to people, or how do I get build my credibility with followers, companies, just general people looking for a pet product?
That's a fabulous question because that's kind of what I do. It's PR is earned media.
Okay, right.
Which just means you're not paying for it, right?
Right.
So I know you're in the Washington, D.C. market, which can be a difficult market because it's such a big market. But I know like Fox 5 every Friday has a pet segment.
Okay.
On their local morning show. And so it might be geared towards adoption, but you might want to team up with a local rescue. And this is where I would say a good thing would be to offer your product to an animal rescue to have them try, because rescues are going to see all kinds of animals. And they're going to be the ones who have a lot of inflammation and who are perfect candidates for your product. And so, you bring in an animal and the rescue is bringing in for I think, is it Forever Home Adoption Friday or whatever it's called. And you bring in the animal and they'll talk about the animal's recovery. And then I've had this happen. The rescue person, it's important to work with somebody who's kind of savvy in a rescue that can say, hey, we gave him Teddy's turmeric tamer and it completely changed him and now he's ready for adoption. That's called like sliding in, newsjacking your brand into it. It's being really sneaky, but I see it all the time.
If it works, it works.
Yes. And then the other thing you want to talk to is relating to studies that come out. I know that, for example, there was a study that came out that said animal rescue marketing, working with animal rescues, sells more pet food than sustainability issues.
Interesting. Huh.
My friend Tim Wall, who's a pet journalist, he wrote that article. Everyone can look that up. Really fascinating. The buy one, give one to a shelter. That seems to work far better than the packaging is, biodegradable. I mean, some pet parents care about that, but giving to other animals, again, the emotion. And so you need to tie in your product to something emotional, which is great because it's a pet product. But maybe there's something, okay, I'm making this up, but maybe there is a factory or something that manufactures turmeric supplements for humans. You could newsjack that and pitch to the station, hey, I want to talk to you about how you pick the best turmeric
Oh, that's a
for
good
your
idea.
pet. So this is a technique called newsjacking where you insert yourself into whatever the story of the day is. And so it's really important that you read, if you read the trade journals about like the ingredients that go into your product. So like the FDA issues warnings all the time. There's salmonella in this brand, or there's pesticides in this brand, and it's making dogs sick or whatever. You should be following that.
Okay. That's a good advice. Yeah.
And this is not, a lot of companies would not appreciate this, but look into what pet foods or pet products got recalled. And then you could say, you could point that out to the journalists and say, hey, this is happening in company XYZ, but this is why it's not happening in mine.
Oh, that's a great idea. Good idea.
So you do have to I encourage you to read as much as you can when you're not working. Read the trade journals, even your local newspaper in Alexandria. Find out what's going on. There might be a story about how either A, it's getting harder and harder to start a small business, or the opposite. There's a record number of small businesses starting up. And then you pitch yourself to the paper and say, hey, I'm doing really, really well. And it's because of XYZ. So one thing you could do is the American Pet Products Association has their yearly statistics that they release about, for example, this year, it's the year of the cat, right? More young men are adopting cats. So you could insert yourself into whatever the statistics are of their 2026 report, right? They talk a lot about the humanization of pets. And it just so happens that you have a product that is, taken by humans and pets. And there's certainly a lot of humanization going on there.
That's interesting. I have to tell you, you inspired me. How I found you was through Pet Boss Nation when you did the podcast. And you inspired me. You said you should get out there and go to media outlets. And I reached out to a local TV station. I haven't heard back. And I also reached out to one of our Alexandria local papers, and they just did a feature on me. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You know what? If you're a small business owner or a rescue, use your local media. I don't know if you've noticed, but especially in local community papers, usually the editor is the writer, is the layout person. Who knows? Maybe even the delivery person. They deliver to all the different grocery stores and different things like that. They need your help. They need content. They are your best friend. And those papers and those media outlets, it could be online too, that's their focus, is focusing on the hyper local. Now, with your TV stations, never get discouraged by, especially you being in Washington, D.C., that's a really busy market. And if you watch the local news there, it's a lot of crime and slime, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they do need news to balance out things. And to be honest, I've had situations where the person that they had wanted, to be on their morning show on a Wednesday, backed out on Tuesday, and then I sent them a pitch an hour later, and they're like, "Can you be on tomorrow at 9:00?"
Wow.
And so it's all luck, and if they don't respond to you, that's pretty common.
I'm sure.
And also, there's so many. Especially with the broadcast media, there's so many people going through the process. So when you send a pitch, it might be seen by an intern first, or a planning editor or whatever. And then it gets passed on, and then it gets passed on until it goes to the editorial meetings where they discuss it. And so it does take a process. And I've also experimented with pitching somebody else. So maybe I pitched a producer, or I sent it out to an intern, or through the news main hotline, and they don't really like pets, right? Then you're not going to go anywhere. But you switch it, and another person at that station loves animals. then you're going to get a different result. And
Right.
you've got to troll the media. That is the way I do it. Look on their personal pages. And also, now with AI, you can say, hey, how do I get a hold of this person? And does this person or who's the producer of this show? Is it possible for you to find me
great
the
idea.
producer?
Great. These are all such good ideas that I'm going to follow up with.
Yes.
Speaking of, when pitching the media, how important is it to tell them your mission? Like our mission, of course, besides helping dogs and owners, we also give back to rescues and animal shelters. Is it a major pitch, or is it, hey, and by the way, we also help the community by giving back to
That's
animal
major.
shelters? It is major? Okay.
Yes. Rescues and shelters as a marketing tool works.
Okay.
I mean, it's the number one thing. I mean, pet parents love that. They have, I think there's some products out there that buy one, give one to a shelter pet. I've talked to some pet store owners about that, and they're like, it works. If there's 3 products and they're roughly the same, and one says we give to an animal shelter when you buy, they're going to pick that one.
Okay, so I need to start doing that.
You need to promote the fact.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I would pick some rescues or a shelter to help.
We've done various ones, mainly local, but do you think it's better to stay with one or to do, because there's so many around here also in the Washington, D.C. area. So we try to hit a few of them. I do volunteer at one, and I've offered my product, but they haven't come back yet with it. So we'll see what happens there.
Oh, they haven't yet? Well,
No.
I think you need to find one. I would work with multiple, and I would work with the one. The problem is rescues aren't always that savvy when it comes to the media. They're so busy rescuing pets that they don't really think about the marketing aspect. There are some rescues and shelters out there that are very savvy and actually have PR people as well, or at least PR people who are volunteers. So reach out to them and find ways to, one way I would do it is pitch a segment through them.
Okay.
And then, name drop your product into their segment. And it might be you. I've heard this also, I've heard of pet business owners becoming the volunteer PR and marketing person for a rescue or shelter.
Really?
So you might want to think about doing that. I mean, you got yourself in the local paper. That's a start, right? And now you've developed a relationship with that. Actually, we're going to take a break. Okay. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the relationship that you just made with that local paper.
Talk to the paw.
Hi, this is Amy Shore.
Hi, I'm Jane Lynch.
This is Mandy Moore. Hi there, I'm Kate Walsh. This is Katherine Heigl.
There's only one station that gives you the scoop on wagging tongues and tails, and who's walking who in Renton and Tinseltown. Pet Life Radio, the Tail Wagger.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets.
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
And we're back with Mary Beth Powers. Mary Beth, we were talking about you got a wonderful hit in your local paper. So now that writer knows you, right? So now you can pitch him other stories. When you expand, if you're supporting, I would send out a press release or at least an email saying Teddy's Turmeric Tamer is teaming up with XYZ Rescue to do good in the local Alexandria community.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Or participating in community events is very, very important. Also, don't forget your local government. Your local governments have a lot of outlets. Now, I worked in government and I made it because I was a crazy animal person. I found ways to work animals into government all the time. And, we would have special dog pet events or different things. And then I would reach out to the local pet businesses, the local veterinarians. That's something that a lot of people don't know too. A lot of here in Minneapolis, the city of St. Paul has a pet fair. Right.
Okay.
And they promote that on their social media, and government social media has a lot of followers.
Okay.
Mostly to yell at government officials. But, the pet stuff include your mayor and all your city council people. Do they have dogs or cats? Do they have issues with their animals? That
Right.
might be where I would offer them,
Okay.
hey, do you want to try this for your animal? And they're going to post about it. And these are influential stakeholders in your community.
Okay. That was my next question about influencers or celebrities. How important is that?
Yes.
Getting my product out there.
So, and Mark can add into this. I have yet to really see how effective pet influencers are.
Okay.
I have a lot of pet product clients, and we have worked with influencers. And I would say maybe only 10% have really delivered the ROI.
Oh my, really? Wow.
But you know what? I've talked to other people like fashion and beauty influencers that really, really works. The latest trend in pet influencer marketing is, especially Gen Z, they want experts. They want veterinarians are becoming the most popular pet influencers. So with your product, it's a health product. Absolutely. I don't know if you're sold in any veterinary clinics.
I have 4 veterinarians that refer my product, and they are holistic vets. I have approached traditional veterinarians, and they're not interested. So I've had a huge challenge with that. But holistic vets welcome me. Yes. I need to get more.
Absolutely.
I need to get more.
Yes. So you should absolutely be targeting anything holistic. You probably should be at all their conferences as well. There's the Holistic Veterinary Conference. I actually do PR for veterinarians, and all of them are holistic.
That's wonderful. I love that.
So it's a special crowd, and I particularly work with integrative vets. And what's interesting is there's so few of them. I mean, somebody once told me there's only about 100 integrative vets. And so that's something that I think you could reach out to all of them, and find out where they are. You need to go where these people hang out.
Okay. Integrative. Now, do you look it up as integrative vets, or is it under holistic?
I actually think those are two different things.
Okay.
I might be wrong, but there's holistic, which is, completely natural. But integrative vets, who I really like to work with, they take the best of all worlds, right? They take traditional medicine, they take Eastern medicine, and they combine it. But anything in that realm. So those are sort of my recommendations. The other thing, and Mark can talk more about this, are podcasts. There are holistic pet podcasts that you should be out on.
Okay. I'm then just getting into that market. So,
yes. And they need guests. Right, Mark?
There's a couple things you could do. There is a big conference, a veterinary conference called VMX. It's in Orlando every year.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like global, but it's only for the veterinary community.
Okay.
It's very big, and it might be a good idea to go there because then you see all these companies, and there's veterinarians there, and there's all kinds of panels and all kinds of things. It's a great place to network.
Okay, that's a great idea.
As far as podcasts, we have one called The Pet Health Coach with Jody Taish, and she always has guests on. You can talk about things in general. You could talk to her about it. It's Jody at PetLifeRadio.com.
That's a great idea.
Mark, you hate it when they just pitch a product.
Well, it's for Best Bets for Pets, which is our pet product show, you can definitely do that. You can contact Michelle at PetLifeRadio.com, and she has Best Bets for Pets, and then you can, because that's our pet product show.
Okay. Of course, I want to pitch my product, but I also want people to realize that there are natural ways to help your dog before you go on the pharmaceutical or prescription route. And I'll be honest, it doesn't always work. You might have to do the meds, the prescriptions, the pharmaceuticals, but why not try natural first? There's no side effects.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my pitch to people. And whether you try my product or something else, try natural first. It's much better for your dog. So
absolutely. Well, we had quite the conversation.
Yes, we did.
Yes. And so we're going to wrap it up. And we just want to thank you, Mary Beth, for coming on the show. Mark and I completely understand how challenging it is being an entrepreneur, like being a startup, because we both ourselves are as well. And there's so many, hats to juggle,
Absolutely.
right? And so by coming on our show and getting our advice, like you're doing the right thing. Like that's the number one thing is networking and find people that can help you and that you can network with. And I think that's the number one thing for success is just putting yourself out there. It's scary though.
It sure is. But I do find that the pet industry, people that I've met are so helpful. They're not competitive. They really are wonderful people. I've had people I just had another pet company send me information on how you can get a grant to, bring your product into marketing or help. And I thought, well, are you applying for it? She said, yes, but you can too. I thought that was really an interesting or wonderful gesture from a competitor.
That is wonderful.
I agree with networking wholeheartedly.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for this episode of Ask the Whisker Report. We're so excited to be doing this for all of you out there who are working every day to make life better for animals. Do you have a question you want us to answer? Or do you want to be featured on a future episode of the Whisker Report? Reach out to me at mary@whiskermedia.com. So as we always say, bark loud and purr smart.
Let's Talk Pets every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.